Have you ever watched someone pick up a new hobby and master it in no time while you're still struggling to get the basics down? It's not magic. There are actually proven techniques and strategies that can help you learn any hobby, new creative skill, or skill of any sort faster. And today I'm going to share those secrets with you. A little bit of a different style video this week. I'm trying something new. I'm going to be sitting here talking, and then we're going to head to the whiteboard every time we need to do so. And hopefully this way I'll be able to actually remember to use the whiteboard. In this video, we'll dive into the science behind how we learn, break down the best practices for mastering any hobby quickly, and I'll even show you some strategies on the whiteboard that you can start using today. Whether you're learning to play an instrument, cook, or even pick up a new sport, these tips will hopefully work for you. We'll cover science behind learning, break down a hobby into manageable steps. Then we'll talk about deliberate practice, and finally, how to stay motivated and consistent in your new hobby. Stick around to the end for actually a special bonus tip that I'll share with you guys that ties everything together. First up, the science behind learning. As always, I have my little framework that I like to make. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at that to keep me focused and running through these sections in the proper order. So let's talk about the science of how we learn. Our brains are incredible at forming new connections, a process known as neuroplasticity. I've talked about neuroplasticity on the channel before. It's one of the most important topics when discussing learning new skills and starting new things and venturing out of your comfort zone. This is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout the life. It's why we can learn new skills at any age, but to make those connections strong, we need to practice repeatedly. Here's something cool. Studies have shown that sleep plays a crucial role in solidifying those connections. So if you're trying to learn any new skill or start anything new, getting enough sleep can help exorbitantly. Let's head to the whiteboard. Welcome to the whiteboard. We can think of neuroplasticity like this. So neuroplasticity equals sleep plus repetition in order to reinforce those connections we're making. So every time you practice a new skill, you're building that little bridge in your brain. And every time you sleep, you're reinforcing those bridges. The more you practice, the stronger the bridge becomes as well. And the more sleep you get, it makes those bridges stronger and more permanent. And we're back. So next section is breaking down your hobby or the hobby. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when learning a new hobby is trying to tackle almost everything at once and trying to go too large with their first projects or first skill building activities. The key to faster learning is to break down your hobby into smaller, manageable parts, smaller, manageable goals that are achievable in shorter time scales. For example, if you're learning to play the guitar, don't start by trying to master a whole song. Instead, focus on learning individual chords and scales first. For example, when I first started, my main hobby is weightlifting. When I first started weightlifting, you don't want to put 1,000 pounds on the bar to start. You want to go in small incremental steps. In the weightlifting scene, this is called as progressively overloading, just adding small amounts of weight to spike your central nervous system, and slowly your body adapts to larger and larger loads. Let's head to the whiteboard. Here's how you can break down learning any new hobby. So you want to break it down like so. You want basic skill 1 to basic skill 2 to basic skill 3, and then you can move on to advanced skill 1. For example, if you were learning guitar, you want to learn chords in guitar, or if you're learning knitting, some simple stitches. Then move on to the more complex skills. This step-by-step approach not only makes learning easier, but much more enjoyable because there'll be much less setbacks. Now let's talk about deliberate practice. This isn't just about repeating something over and over and iterating through it. It's about practicing with purpose. Deliberate practice means focusing on the areas you find most interesting and challenging and setting specific, achievable goals like we mentioned earlier, goals that aren't too broad and goals that you can achieve within a realistic timeline. For instance, if you're learning a new language, don't just practice speaking generally. Identify a specific area like pronunciation or verb conjugation and focus intensely on that until you improve. Or an example, if you're getting into woodworking, practice something like joinery. Get really into that, and through practicing joinery, you'll probably get some other skills as well. Always seek feedback, whether it's from a mentor, a friend, or even an app, or really anybody out there. Let's head to the whiteboard. Here's the formula for success. So you want it like so: deliberate practice equals focused effort plus feedback. Horrible handwriting. Hopefully you can see it there. But you want focused effort on your weak points plus immediate feedback. This kind of targeted practice accelerates your progress because you're constantly pushing your limits and refining those basic skills and eventually those advanced skills as well. This is an interesting section. We live in a time where technology can be your best friend in learning a new hobby. For example, Hobbies Launchpad, our application which connects you with mentors for one-on-one mentoring, pre-recorded courses, or live group events. There are countless apps, online courses, and communities that can help you learn faster and more effectively. Whether it's Duolingo for languages, YouTube tutorials for cooking, or even specialized forums for crafts, there's something out there for everyone. What's your favorite learning app or resource? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to see what sort of apps or resources you guys are using to learn new hobbies or new skills. Drop it in the comments below, like I said, and I'll check them out and reply to your comment. Let's head to the whiteboard. Here are some good tools for learning. So if you're learning a new language, Duolingo, I'm sure many of you have heard of this. If you're learning, let's say, music, there's how's it spelled? Musician. If you're learning any new hobby, there's Hobby Solver, Launchpad. You can find it on our website and in the link in the description. And if you're learning crafts, Pinterest is an excellent resource because you can get a lot of inspiration and a lot of ideas from there. So one of the hardest parts about starting anything new, starting a new hobby, learning a new skill, or entering a new career path is staying consistent and motivated. Consistency is the secret sauce to mastering any hobby, any skill. It's better to practice a little bit every day than do a marathon session once a week. But staying motivated can be tough, especially when you hit those inevitable plateaus, and those are especially demotivating. I remember when I was learning weightlifting again, there were times when, especially in something physical, you'll definitely hit plateaus where, for example, if I'm practicing bench press and I hit a certain weight goal, let's say I hit 225 pounds on the bench press and I'm stuck there for 2 weeks. It doesn't seem like I can get past that. I had to figure out that the fix to this was staying consistent and slowly adding just a little bit of weight every week or every day that I was in the gym doing that exercise. And it progressively allowed me to push past that plateau. This can be seen in any type of hobby, in painting, in photography. But for example, if I'm learning how to paint, I could keep, and I'm hitting plateau, I feel like I'm hitting some sort of roadblock in my journey, I could keep a progress journal and review that every time I go to paint, and hopefully I'll figure out what sort of setbacks, or what's causing those setbacks, what's causing that plateau. Or I'll reach out to a mentor and hopefully they can help me out getting past that plateau because they've probably experienced something similar. Let's head to the whiteboard. Here's a simple progress tracker you can use. Date, task, progress. So write down what you worked on each day and note any improvements or challenges you've faced. This visual representation of your progress can be an incredibly powerful motivator and keep you going through any larger or even smaller setbacks you experience. All right, here's the bonus tip I promised. So one that can dramatically improve your learning and your learning experience is teach what you've learned to someone else. Teaching others is one of the most effective ways to solidify your knowledge, to prove your knowledge. When you explain a concept or demonstrate a skill, you're reinforcing what you know, identifying gaps in your understanding, and deepening your mastery. It's called the Feynman technique, named after the famous physicist Richard Feynman, who believed that if you can't explain something simply, you truly don't understand it. So how can you use this technique? Start small, explain what you've learned to a friend, write a blog post, or even create your own YouTube channel. Or you can join Hobbies Silver Launchpad if you believe you have enough skill and you can become a mentor on there. You can offer one-on-one mentoring to students, create a pre-recorded course, or host live events. If you're learning a musical instrument, try teaching a basic chord to a beginner. If you're into cooking, walk a friend through a recipe you feel that you've mastered. Let's head to the whiteboard. Here's for the bonus tip. Remember this equation. When you teach, you learn twice. That guy right there, extremely important. Not only are you helping someone else as well, but you're also reinforcing your own skills you've built and your own understanding of whatever hobby or skill you're teaching. So let's wrap this up. Hopefully you've liked this new format. I'm testing things out. I'm trying to figure out what works, what you guys like. Hopefully it's a little bit more engaging and a little bit more fun as you're switching between the scenes. Today we've covered the science behind learning, the importance of breaking down a hobby, the power of deliberate practice, how to leverage technology, and staying motivated. These techniques will help you learn any hobby or skill faster and make the process more enjoyable. Now it's your turn. Pick one of these techniques and apply it to your hobby this week. Let me know in the comments how it goes, or send me a message on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more tips like these or you want to see our future videos. Remember, the journey of learning is just as important as the destination, sometimes even more important. Enjoy every step, keep challenging yourself, and most importantly, have fun with it. I'll see you later.